All right, everybody, that is the conclusion of the first day of NFL free agency, or the third day of this week where we start to get a feel for what teams are going to do. And we learned a pretty decent amount. And I think we now have some clarity on the plan. And I am grateful for that. I do appreciate the fact that I have some idea of what direction this team is going in. And I will give credit for that. It does seem to me that this team does have a plan. I'm not sure if I like it. I'm not sure if I like what I heard today from Carroll. Not sure yet. But I think it's actually pretty defensible at the very least. And I want to be a little open-minded about this because this is the path we're going down at the end of the day. And I'm happy we at least have some theme of a path. So today, the Seahawks signed 3 players, all from outside the organization. All players who were not Seahawks this previous year. And then we moved on from a guy. So we're doing things. And the fact that we cut Mayowa and apparently did it just to save $1.5 million tells me he's probably not the last guy to get cut. You will see some other cuts as well. But I think that those 3 signings are somewhat illuminating, and they do pair somewhat well with what Pete had to say in his press conference today. So, like I said earlier today, watching that press conference, a lot of it was incoherent and weird and annoying, and I had all those reactions as well. Some of it was exasperating, some of it was nonsensical, but there was one thing that Pete said that I believed and I considered to be of value, and that is that we are not rebuilding. Pete does not believe in a rebuild. He believes in doing everything he can do to win a Super Bowl this season. Take out everything else he said, all the obvious lies about the Russell Wilson situation, all the weird second chance stuff that he said about all these players that he absolutely did not give a second chance to on any level. Forget the pretended confusion about the Bobby Wagner situation. Forget all of that. The important thing to take out of that press conference is just the knowledge that we're not taking this year off. And you look at the signings that we made today, as well as, I guess, the cut we made, although we probably would have made the cut either way, it lines up. So I don't believe Carroll on a lot of things, but I am going to go ahead and believe him on this one. We're not rebuilding. This is more of a reload. Yesterday, I obviously played with the idea of a reload, and I even this morning played with the idea of a stopgap quarterback like a Matt Ryan or a Jared Goff, but I don't think that's even going to be the case. So it seems to me that the plan is build a team in 2022, draft a quarterback. I don't know who it's going to be yet. We don't know who it's going to be yet because we don't know who we're going to have a chance at. And when I say we, I mean the organization. So seems to me pretty clear, like this tweet says, the Seahawks are drafting a quarterback, and we intend to put that quarterback out there as a rookie and try to give him an opportunity to have success. That's why we brought in Austin Blythe, who I think is going to do good for us. That's why we're heavily looking at Trenton Brown, and I do actually at this point expect us to sign him. And I have a feeling that you're going to see a few other moves designed to round out this offensive line so that your rookie quarterback has a chance. I'm also still expecting to bring back Rashad Penny or some other running back who can fill that role. And I think that is probably the plan. It's not going to be some stopgap veteran. It's not going to be Drew Lock. I'll say it again. Pete Carroll and John Schneider were very complimentary of Drew Lock today. They didn't say anything that was objectively wrong, but they don't have a choice. He's the quarterback at this moment, and you don't know. For all you know, he will have to be your quarterback. For all you know, you won't be able to draft the guys you want. So they're kind of forced to be overly complimentary of Drew Lock. And if you listen to Pete today, he was also over complimentary of Geno Smith. So that's just what's going to happen here. I'm not going to get on Pete and John for being complimentary of the guy who is currently QB1. even if he may not be QB1 later, even if he's embellishing or lying, that part, I'm not mad about that part. But I do think that is the most likely direction. We draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft. I don't know who it's going to be. Malik Willis is obviously at the top of the list with Matt Corral. I've heard some Carson Strong. I've heard some Sam Howell. Don't know who it's going to be. But it seems to me the plan is to try to replicate what you did in 2012. Get a rookie quarterback, try to build a team around him. Obviously, this team is going to be nowhere near as well structured as the 2012 team because we're doing this stuff in free agency. But if you take a look at the guys we signed, you've got a middle-aged cornerback, a young but, going into his fifth year. He's been in the league a while, outside linebacker, and then a veteran center. It's pretty clear to me that we are trying to compete this year, but sticking to this 2-year plan. And when you take a look at the contracts we've given out so far, they're basically all 1-year or 2-year deals. We gave a 3-year deal to Will Dissly, but we already know that contract's going to be extremely easy to get out of after 2 years. So it's basically a 2-year contract. There's no way Will Dissly sees that money unless he has a monster breakout year in the next 2. And Quandre Diggs, we don't know the contract yet. I haven't seen it. But based off what we do know, it seems very likely it is front-loaded, meaning that last year also going to be easy to get out of. So I think what you are going to see is the Seahawks open up as much flexibility as possible for 2024. Because we all know what the deal is with rookie quarterbacks. Those first 3 years, you are stuck making rookie contract money. You can't get out of it. There's a rumor that Wilson actually tried to get out of it after his rookie year. You can't do it. So you're trying to build a team that has a chance. That's why you bring back Al Woods. That's why you bring back Quandre Diggs. Guys who you cannot promise are going to continue to be good for the future. You can't guarantee they're going to still be the good in 3 years or 4 years. Maybe not even 2 years in the case of Al Woods. But they give you a chance to be competitive in these areas in 2022. So if you hit the jackpot with a rookie quarterback, you don't just have a gutted team around him. Because if you get Malik Willis, for example, and he ends up killing it, he ends up doing maybe not quite what Lamar did his second year, but maybe more like Lamar did his first year, where there were problems, but he was making plays and actually kind of bailed that team out a little bit at the end of the season. They actually ended the season on a really, really good hot streak. So you don't want to completely gut the roster, so you're not doing that rebuild. You're reloading in the hopes that rookie quarterback is going to be great. And then you have that second year where maybe you can kind of make a decision on that quarterback. You can look at whoever it is and go, all right, second year, you got to show me something good, or else we may decide to just pull the plug early. And because this is a 2-year plan, in theory, I'm just guessing what the plan might be here, you are going to have maximum roster flexibility going into 2024. The only big money you're going to have on the books in 2024 would be Jamal Adams, you're stuck with him still. Tyler Lockett, you're stuck with him still probably. And if you extend DK Metcalf, then him. Jordan Brooks will be just finishing up his 5th year, so you can make a decision on him at that point. But basically, that's how I see things right now. That's what I'm looking at. From the outside looking in, it seems to me that the team doesn't want to throw away a season, doesn't want to throw away 2 seasons. So they are building the team for this year, but not committing to anything longer than 2 seasons. That might be why we weren't in on like the Chandler Jones deal. Now, I think Chandler Jones, and by the way, Von Miller as well, I'll throw him in there as well, both got overpaid. But you could have gotten Hassan Reddick. He probably got fairly paid, but you don't want to go that 3rd year. You don't want to get a 3rd year that is going to be messy. You want to find guys who you can get for 2 years or 3 years with an easy out after 2. That way, when you get to that 2023 offseason, if you've got the real deal quarterback, you can just go all in with all the crazy cap space you're going to have. Because all these contracts you got, like the guys we got today, they're going to be coming off the books either next offseason or the offseason after, so you don't have to worry about their money. And then you can just be like what the Chargers are doing right now, where the Chargers are just going all in, pushing it all into the middle for this season because it's the last year Herbert's locked into that rookie deal. In 2024, Malik Willis or Sam Howell or Carson Strong or Matt Corral or whoever it is, whichever quarterback it is going to be on that third year of his rookie deal. And you can look at that and go, okay, this is our chance. Let's go all in. Let's try to win the Super Bowl now. And they're giving themselves maximum flexibility to do so that offseason by buying all the best players. Now, that's never really been the Pete Carroll and John Schneider way, but looking at these moves from the outside, that's what I can glean from this. It's kind of a way to set yourself up for a big offseason in a couple years, but you're not quite ready to let go of the present. You still want to give your rookie QB X a chance with a decent roster. So that tells me that we're not going to move Tyler Lockett. That tells me that we are going to stick it out with him, because if you get lucky with that rookie quarterback, then Tyler Lockett still has some value. But that's what I got. I just can't believe Drew Lock is the guy, and I no longer think the Jared Goff scenario is very realistic. Maybe if you want to pull somebody in so Malik doesn't have to start day one, because I view him as a project. I view a lot of the quarterbacks in this draft as a project. Carson Strong too, possibly. But I gotta believe that is the thought process for this team right now. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Peace out. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think. But it looks like a reload after all. Not saying it's the right thing to do, but maybe they can pull it off. Stranger things have happened.